Do not want to break any public records law. Okay, so we can close this. You have to turn them off. 30 seconds.
So was that a part of the official?
Yes. Okay. All right. Let me close the door. Actually, I think Eddie may be joining us. Okay. Well, Chair-Hall, we are ready for you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming to our first in-person meeting that I've ever been to. Anyway, so I'd like to call to order the whole meeting. Paul, Chair.
Yes, Susan Mayfair, Vice Chair.
Barbara Young.
Spencer Howard, Commissioner.
Crystal Our Commissioner.
Welcome, Krista. I knew. Okay, great. And Edward Salzberg.
Yeah.
So I understand you don't have any public comment.
Looks like we don't have any public comment and there was none received.
Do have a forum, so consent agenda.
I'll second it.
We can't approve today.
Oh, no, you can approve all of it. Yep, this packet is the agenda packet. It's the agenda and the minutes from last meeting.
Okay, moving to discussion items. Chair Hall, my experience, new panel for the new deputy city manager. Hi, welcome. Hello.
Hello.
We're already going here. We just started a minute ago. So welcome. We're on.
Yeah, just introduce yourself to our fans out there.
Hello, I'm Eduardo. Yes, Salazar.
Nice to see you in person.
Likewise.
So we're discussing, we're just trying to talk about, so I was the representative of PAC was invited to the interview panels for the new deputy city manager. The Salem is it's two deputies. Another new position. Library, SPAC, parks.
All of the outward facing service units in the city.
And that tracks with kind of what I've seen we're supposed to be doing. Actually,
Is there a been?
There was a deputy city manager before in the structure. The last city manager decided one. So they have their.
that was an interesting process. All the candidates were good. Some of them quite good. We were just one of them. So some of those candidates had had It'll be interesting. We'll get tired. I will experience it. So I was encouraged, I guess. So I sit there and I said, Stapleton. Yep. And they encouraging one. So just not much more than that, but I think I heard them ask. Yeah, that's about that. This is okay, go on. Send around. May not. Say, is so maybe that's part of how. Johnson, one was from two of them were local in the West. That person had one.
I remember one from Olympia who had Hobart. The same city where from.
Is it they have a master?
Yeah. You shared that at one of the.
Yeah.
Program.
Set up district.
Oh, right.
Districts. That's the other side of this. Chair of board. Josh Kent. So, which is again just to say stakeholder a little bit of an advisory parks. So, who's senior mayor? Overstep.
Good network.
Yeah.
Like the opening of the Hallman Hotel, we could wear that way in
That's
the
right.
corner.
And we chatted with council on the issue, but I
Yeah.
also asked. So we're working on those stakeholders. So.
They were here.
We're here, and we have an idea. We'll talk about it. So,
What about, was it a first group or group of day?
well, it was Holman.
Oh, no.
Not in that sense. But, there's a bit of diversity. Some of them younger. So, Texas. But I think there had been a. Bigger. So yeah, I'm very interested to see who, what other panelists thought and. Yeah, I haven't heard the other key, the other key decision. Who he wants to be any of them. So. So that's my report on that. sort of. I feel like that's sort of maybe on me to draft. The last time we had talked. Back. Thoughts on that?
I think what you guys are doing now with building a stakeholder or connections with them, is great, but looking at the minutes, building off of Eugene's one was, I guess, its structure was kind of the message I got last time that, that didn't work. And I think all the routes that Tom suggested regarding bringing it to council as either a letter, or even a presentation, or inviting someone to our stakeholder or to our meetings, would all benefit from this document that we. So I think that would be the next step.
Your presentation. Work, you know. But I mean, maybe preface it with a letter and then say like, yeah, on your agenda. Okay, or-
So last time we talked about whoever this. So we were kind of like, let's wait to do formal address.
Okay.
It's not too. So as between now, maybe we need our two. So, I don't know. You know, Kate. Early of us. I talked. Oscar. Or we could settle. We could try. I could find a seat back. She could come on to the city. She could be part of our stakeholder. You know, so yes. But I don't know too much. You want me sooner and or the rationale. She can start. It is. I believe it is.
Yeah, good question.
To get some.
Right. It's always good to hear about the pitfall, you know, like, I mean, my gut feeling is that I'd rather meet her first and hear her story and kind of hear about how she approached government, what kind of response they got initially and whether it was positive or negative, and then kind of go advise people to keep going. Ask for advice.
The hackers so that it's not
Yeah.
I think that would be best. 30, 45 minutes of her time.
Yeah.
That first time.
I don't know, Keith, is that
that allowed?
possible to have someone zoom in to a meeting?
An in-person meeting?
Yeah.
Or if we go back to Zoom meetings.
Yeah, if we go back to Zoom meetings for one.
So maybe for that one, we just do
Go
a Zoom
back.
meeting so that it's.
We can do that, we can
For sure.
kind of go back and forth.
Yeah,
Okay,
we just
that's
can have a
good to know.
hybrid meeting where people zoom in while we
Yeah.
have a personal.
How come that's not, I mean, you know.
I'm
do
not
that,
sure.
but
I'm
that's-
not-
I mean, we do it for our neighborhood association
Yeah.
meeting and it's no problem, but
I'll look into it though.
So how about, do you all have thoughts on it?
I mean, I kind of agree. I think I would like to meet with her first, just because I know even the couple of meetings that I've attended, I think everybody has a lot of ideas, and we would love to do so much with this commission, but also like what is actually realistic. I feel like she'd be a good person to kind of like, these are what we're initially thinking, and she can kind of help us hone it into what might be a little bit more realistic based off of her experience.
Yeah, and keep in mind that she is the desired outcome of a successful public art plan series of meetings and initiative. So if we succeed in getting a public art, the next step would be hiring the city would hire some resources to support that plan, and those resources pay for someone like Kate.
So I think like
will,
bringing her in early, and then she can kind of also like see where it goes from there and help just kind of maintain as a resource.
okay.
Like we wouldn't expect her to come and be part of the entire thing, but at least kind of building that relationship pretty early on, I think would definitely benefit us.
So do we want to try to have our next meeting go back to Zoom, and I can see if Kate wants to, is willing to join that as a guest?
I think that's a good idea. If you're talking about trying to have something ready for the new deputy person by fall.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll take that as an action item. I'll reach out to her.
And it's May 10th.
Well, there's an agenda item.
Oh,
To
change the date.
Yeah, I'm not going to be here, and I was instructed the last time I phoned in from the East Coast, my supervisor's like, no, let's make sure you're present for the meeting. So, yeah.
And that's okay. So when do we want to?
I am any time other than that week. That would be. So it's scheduled for May 10th. We can move it to the 17th.
So that's
Or the 24th.
Pretty close to the next one.
17th in the afternoon would be fine for
17th.
works for me.
Yes. All right. So why don't we propose May 17th?
Okay.
So we're gonna shift the date.
And it's going to be on Zoom.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone.
Now, of course, if she can't make that, I'll let you know.
Right.
And we can switch it. Yep.
But
When is the next meeting after that, the June meeting?
It looks like June 14th.
We won't be able to make that.
Some commissions
Yeah.
skip in the summertime or during holidays too.
Yeah, well, we could talk about it. I mean, if
so this will be some motivation for us to read or read that documentation. Just get familiar with their plan and their documents, or how they did it. A while ago.
And I will review it from a staff perspective as to what resources is kind of like a resource gap analysis.
Great. With a goal of kind of, after hearing from Kate, us sort of solidify what we think the public art plan pieces should be. So, like, what are we trying to accomplish? What are the gaps? What's needed? Because that'll sort of start to form the communication to council. But this is what other. The Salem Public Art Commission doesn't really have the authority to step in this. However, we are a kind of lightning rod for concerns and issues and enthusiasms surrounding public art in the city of Salem, which has led us to try to figure out how other cities deal with this, and that's led to a clear answer, which is other cities have public art plans. And cities that we're familiar with.
Was it Newport or Lincoln City?
Lincoln City,
Yeah.
has one. Richmond, Virginia has one. Everyone has one. But lots of cities, have
Yeah.
one, especially large capital
Yeah.
cities. And so you can sort of see how that story tells us. And here's what that means. Here's some examples of other cities. Here's what we're proposing. here's gap analysis, and then I think we can kind of ask for some sort of consideration of that.
We might want to, include some information from the Americans for the Arts about just the creative economy impact in the economy of cities and how it really
Richard
benefits
Florida's
it.
work.
What's that?
Richard Florida's work. You've
Is
written a
that
book
who-
of, yeah, he's
there's-
written several books on
Yeah,
the creative economy.
yeah. And how it really is going to, benefit Salem greatly to invest whatever they can with their resources are very
He makes an argument
slim at the moment, but
there's a relationship between the arts and new technologies. And so with the new law that COTEC has signed in terms of land use and chips, all of those kind of things integrate with each other.
that's the kind of thing I think that's really appreciate on the council hearing about. I think the mayor did go to that Bloomberg event, and I'm sure they talked about that kind of thing, that it was really beneficial on so many levels to
Yeah, Councilor
city
Nishioka did.
development. So he's,
They're for it.
great.
So these first three topics all kind of weave together, right? One of the stakeholders is the city manager. Kate's gonna help us think through we sort of know who some of the stakeholders are. Who else should we be thinking about that we don't have on the list? Right now, we're thinking of downtown parks, council, city management. Who else needs to be on that list? Is it neighborhood associations? Like how big or small? In some ways, I'm sure she'll say everybody. It's great.
Well, city planning would be a big one because they have effect on like all what is required for building.
Mhm.
And I know that we don't really have authority to implement that stuff, but they do eventually.
And then she'll help kind of inform also understand stakeholder the pieces of the plan and then kind of come up with our draft. And I think probably, I know what she did when City of Eugene got grant funding to write the plan. So I don't think we need to write the plan. We just need to kind of discuss what the pieces of the plan are and how one know about getting any or other grants to get the plan written, and then the implications of having the plan, or that you might need staff, and how that got funded in Eugene through wholesale hospitality taxes. And, so how would Salem think about that? That's outside of our purview, but just to kind of lay out for council, like here's kind of the pieces.
Travel Salem.
Chris Darcy, former chair, would be a great resource because she has a ton of experience in grant writing. So even if it's just the question
Yeah.
of where to look, she knows
Strategic
exactly where that is.
planning for arts organizations
Yeah.
in particular. But Travel Salem is, they're really promoting the arts in the community. I mean, they're really showing out a lot of resources as well as, meeting with people about it. So it'd be a conversation.
Okay, so I have a to-do. Week before, and that's the next meeting. So, by then, I'm sure we've all read that and come with our questions.
Right.
And we'll try to come out of that meeting with a sort of a gap analysis or some structured, beginning of a structured document. After the manager and have the update to the stakeholder, then we can talk about and we'll talk to. Okay, so to updates.
Yes, it still hasn't gone through city council yet. It's going through the process. But it is reflected in the minutes that the commission approved of those changes that Tom read to us. So that's going to go through. The SPAC vacancies, Krista, welcome. We do still have one more vacancy, and that is for
position, I think real estate development, landscape, architecture. So if you know of anyone, please have them submit their resumes, or not resumes, or applications online. And we talked about the Mays meeting, so thank you. I saw you, Keith, you had sent through. Yes, About the drummer, Mr. yes, he is ready to engage us with the repair. He would like to speak with the new art collection maintenance subcommittee to determine how to move forward. I believe the question that he has for us is if we want to make it or if we want to return it to an exterior location, and if we want to put it together on one set, or I don't know what to call it, rolling piece or two pieces, Right, because there's a drummer and the rooster which were originally together. in a pond.
In a pond,
And then they separately clipped, right? So they can. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want to, so that subcommittee, I guess, is.
Yeah. Well, I had a couple questions about the financial part of this. I know that we gave to the police station, what was it,
1,200 for the
1,200?
repair.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember how we get money for the commission for
Mhm.
repairs. Is that like an annual contribution?
We get $25,000 annually
Okay.
from TOT, which is Transportation Occupancy Tax. So whatever comes from the hotels.
Okay.
And we use that. Originally, it was only for the purchase and like acquisition of material, but we changed code a few years ago to allow for the maintenance of those in our collection. So we have the authority. We probably have about $45,000 in our maintenance account right now.
Okay.
Oh,
That makes me feel better. Because
Yes,
I saw the
that is
10,000.
better.
Yes,
And
yes,
I was
Yeah.
like, well, if we're down to,
yeah.
it makes me a little nervous.
And our last, thanks for asking the question. And our last evaluation, when the pieces were moved from the library, I think they were evaluated and they were all in good repair. And we don't have any other repairs down the line. And the repair that we did last summer to the statues at Bush Park came out of the Parks Maintenance Fund, because that was not part of our the city's actual collection. So we saved 10 grand there.
Okay.
Yep.
Well then, just wanted
Yeah,
to
no, it's good.
check on that.
Yeah. So how should we, maybe, shall I set up, and we can just, as a subcommittee, we can just. set up a Yeah, meeting. and there's two of you guys, so there's no quorum. And you can report back to the committee after speaking with Lee. You can include me in the emails, or I can even engage him with both of your emails in the response saying, these are the commissioners working on the project with you. Sure, so yeah, so do you, I can reach out to Lee and set up that meeting, or do you want to? You can set up a meeting if, yeah, and just include me in it. Okay, good. Perfect. I'll do- is it those two for me?
It was pretty comprehensive. I thought that was a really good
Yeah.
report about, technically as well as the history of the piece and the artist.
Yeah, it seemed,
It was
the fee seemed about right. So that wasn't anything I had an issue
Yeah.
with. Just,
Yeah.
And it's heavy.
yeah, I was like, that's gonna,
I have the
it's like a lot of
same.
work.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Right now, it's started on in the convention center upstairs, between like in the boiler room or something.
oh no.
Like
We
on the
can get that out
ground.
of there.
Out there, yeah.
Yeah.
And so refresh my memory. So we talked about putting it maybe back in water. We said, don't do that. You're gonna get Charles's battery.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Understood. And then we had talked to the gentleman Yes, about whether or not it could be included in the civic correct. center remodel. So the Civic Center, the bond passed, so we will be receiving some monies in the out years, like 25, 26, to improve the space between the Civic Center and the library. So in addition to the Civic Center being retrofitted with earthquake proof, that area that's such, all a concrete, they want to soften it into like a greener park area. But a lot of the
city's collection of art pieces are in there, including that fountain. And so there was an idea when we do that improvement of that piece to perhaps bring back the drummer and rooster to the exterior, space. But because it sounds like exterior siding is not a good idea, maybe we can just go ahead and move forward with the pieces being repaired for an indoor application somewhere else.
Did you say it couldn't be outdoors or just not
I
in
think
water?
that's just not enough.
Yeah.
There's a platform in the courtyard down there that
Mhm.
potentially be a great spot. It's just, I think,
If it could be outdoors,
Bricked over.
yeah.
Yeah.
maybe that's something we can-
but it's covered.
That's
Oh, it's
close to where-
covered?
That's close to where it
Oh.
was.
Yeah, it was right.
Okay.
Yeah, right below
Oh,
the.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right below
Yeah.
the
Oh,
council
okay, that
chambers.
would be good.
But like I said, it's not going to get the project's not going to start for another couple of years.
Yeah,
So I mean, the alternative is to keep it in storage until that point in time where they're ready.
With the convention center, I know they had on display on the main glass wall. Wherever we drove by.
Mhm.
That could potentially, once we get it repaired, just
So I guess we'll talk with him.
bring it
Yeah.
down there.
put
yeah.
it there
Yeah.
in the meantime.
The reason why it broke was because non-movers of the convention center moved it.
That's
And
right.
then it actually fell and broke. And so we're hesitant about making it so mobile because they're going to be more apt to just move it during an event.
And Lee had
I
said something to
see.
that effect too, that really it should
Correct.
be, so he'll have an opinion.
Yeah,
So-
Lee and I visited the site, and took a look at the piece out there, and so he had his thoughts. So he's familiar with it.
Okay, we'll all set up that meeting sometime in the next, for sure before the next one. So we have time. So we'll try to do it the next one.
Okay. The Waldo stewards are still in progress. We're waiting for warmer weather for the anti-graffiti coating, as well as good sense. The water trucks are not plumbed for water yet.
Okay, new business, so we talked about the committees last time, but maybe we have a quorum so we can actually take them, or is that?
Correct.
That's right. So, just to remind everyone, we talked about creating two subcommittees, one for the development of this questionnaire, which is links back to the sort of the stakeholder plan, / the public plan, but how are we, who are the stakeholders, how are we contacting? How do we, Kate will have some in our phone call, I had a stress that they had done something similar and had been able to collect data showing a lot of support for public art program. That was an important piece of getting public art funding. So you guys have sort of, I know there's probably more to that, but that right now is, sorry. It's Barbara and Susan, but me, volunteered for that as well, or did you, maybe you were?
I think I initially did, but then we found out it can only be 2 people. And I was not
Until we
initially
fill
on the,
the
here
other
yet.
one.
right,
Right.
Yeah.
Until we fill the vacancy, then we'll have a quorum before,
yeah.
and then you can join us.
Okay.
But you can help out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm happy to help you out, yeah.
Just about the questionnaire, I think it might be a good idea to wait until after we hear from Aaron, because they had a questionnaire that seemed to really work for them, or maybe it didn't work. We didn't, so maybe we wait until after we hear from her. But I have a suggestion for another, either subcommittee or just another person. We had talked about having, doing the social media posts
Mhm.
and updates about
Oh, yeah.
the collection.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there should be a subcommittee of 2 people working on that, or whether one person, I know Krista has said, but it would mean, I guess, looking at all of the information about the collection
Yeah.
and gathering photos and whatnot, and also getting it to
Mhm.
you had some very specific way that we had to present that to the city so that they could push it out. So
We can work offline too, if
Okay.
you're interested.
Yeah, absolutely.
What Susan is talking about is we have a team of public communication officers, and then they have a schedule. And if we decide to post on a regular basis, they just need it, a few days ahead of time.
Sure.
And they like to get a month in advance. So if we
Okay.
can get a weekly post for the month of May, they can just work with that.
Okay.
I have given the commissioners access to our database, but it's essentially just a repository. It's not really in any order.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was the first meeting I attended as a
Okay.
guest. I think you all were kind of browsing that, just brainstorming these initial ideas. And I think you found too, some like written blurbs that we
Yep.
had for some of the works. So yeah, absolutely, I can start
Perfect.
to just kind of filter through those.
I will add you to that list
yeah.
with permissions.
Yeah, 'cause I think any opportunity to get others involved and let them know about the collection and what we have, would be great.
So we have a social media subcommittee. Yeah, like that.
And then if we could push that out to the neighborhood association sites.
So do we need to, Keith, do we need to like vote on these subcommittees?
I don't think we need to. Well, let's just vote on it. Put it as an action item.
Okay, so I'm gonna move that I'm gonna do all at once.
Yep.
That we create 3 subcommittees, the one for developing the public art questionnaire, 2 for dealing with our collection meetings and social. Are you gonna do it in a second?
Should we make it social media and, I'm sorry, like other marketing too, like the brochure and just any kind of, I don't know what you would call it, public, I guess. marketing
Outreach?
in a way, Public outreach.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
social media marketing. Let's get the name. The names can be smashed by the people.
Okay,
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor of creating those?
I,
Aye.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, good work. Okay, to move to takes us down to action items. None.
None. No action items.
Okay, I guess open for commissioner comments.
I just have a question about the, for want of a better title, the cat mural. The one that,
Oh, the
yeah,
Front
the
Street
one on
Memorial.
Front Street.
Okay.
Is there any update on that?
There's been drama behind the scenes. I'm not sure if you guys are knowing, but I think the original artist that had the original design and the group kind of decided not to work together. But now the artist emailed me and was like, I really want to bring this to Salem. What can I do? And I said, well, you need to find a private person who has a building that can put an application to the city, because that's the only vehicle, for artists to get through it. And so he understood, but he was just kind of frustrated with the process because he's not even getting contact back from the original, the owner of the building. And then there's other people in the art community that are interested in it. And it said, I want to provide comment. And I said, well, because the applicant pulled their application, there's no way to provide public comment on something that is not there. And so people are, including me, are confused, or not just, we're just waiting to see what their plans are. They originally said they'll let us know in, February, March. And I haven't heard anything yet.
So maybe, do we know if they're like working with a different artist, or are they just trying to consider something different, or are they?
I think they might be working with another artist. And they said they will be putting, if they were continuing, they would put in a different application.
Okay.
So it could be a different design, or in either way, according to the housing HOA rules, the design has to be approved by them in order for an easement to be granted to the city. And so it goes through a whole vote.
It's the building across from the Zul's.
Okay,
Parking lot, that whole base,
okay.
which is probably the largest one left in Salem.
Yeah.
So
And it's right outside the historic district, because we're not allowed to put new murals in the historic district. So this is a really great opportunity for someone that actually links the city with the natural environment, which is interesting.
When did this whole process start?
Back,
November.
yeah, back in November was when the official process started, but they've been having meetings back in the day. And Linda Nishioka, who is now a council person, lives in the building, and so she had to, recuse herself. So she's no longer on the committee, but is helping to push murals within the city. So
There were
Yeah.
some letters of, I think we got, didn't we get
Mhm.
some letter, if you go back, and, yeah, there were, and people have been talking to me about it. And just-
and the
Before it
application,
got to,
Yeah.
before it got to having a hearing on it, they withdrew it.
Okay.
I think it
Yeah.
was in response to the letters.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
there was never. public-
Sure.
Yeah, the objection was that people felt that it wasn't appropriate for that.
Okay.
and let's just review the website. How? So this is the Salem Public Art Commission website, and here are all of the is public hearings that people attended or that we've had. See, like this one was withdrawn, so there's no link for that one.
Oh, I see.
It's a great site, and I know clearly the city is trying hard to link downtown to the waterfront. There's a lot of support in these areas to put something like that. So,
Yep.
be interesting to see what it is. Okay, well,
May I add some staff comments on this?
Yeah.
Okay. I got word from the Downtown Revitalization Planning Committee. If they're interested in engaging SPAC, like you mentioned.
okay.
So next week I'll be talking with staff to see what their interest is. And I will definitely have SPAC on top of mind in terms of our vision for creating a master plan and how downtown will fit into that. So
Now, who is this, the downtown?
yeah, let me get it up on.
And how are
screen
they
for you.
different from Main Street? What's the?
I think there's different. So this is from the program manager for the Riverfront Downtown Urban Renewal Area. The message says, as you know, the Urban Development Department is in the process of revitalizing downtown through the council-approved downtown streetscape plan. I'm working with Sherry Walgreen, Assistant Urban Development Director, to implement the plan. Recently, we hired AKS to assess the existing plantings and furnishings in the historic district. They have made some recommendations regarding public art, and we would like to touch base with you to discuss some of the proposed recommendations. Additionally, Sherry worked with OFAS to put in some bases for art in the downtown area. We wanted to see how those plans could also move forward. So that's how the SPAC is being engaged through staff, and I will report to you on what next steps are or how they want to engage you further.
Great.
And the second item that I want to talk about, we spoke earlier in the beginning of the meeting, was about the complaint we got from the planning department because they received. So in Salem, when you do a building and you want to put a sign, you go through the sign code chapter 900, and there's an application process that they went through. So the application process included all the exterior signs, but not the exterior painting. The painting is considered a sign because it captures the attention of passersby. And so when the planning department, or not planning, I should say, what is it called? Permitting department approached me to, give my opinion. I told them that they did not go through the public process, which is outlined to get the mural. And so this would go back to sign code. And it says in the mural code that anything not approved by SPAC will go to sign code. So going back to sign code, this does not meet the dimensions required within code. So they would have to repaint it somehow. The gentleman who applied for it approached me and said that he spent $40,000 on this artwork and he'd like to do whatever he can to save it. And so I said, well, you can retroactively go through the process. SPAC really wouldn't like that because we've done 2 of them so far. And so But I talked to my supervisor and they're like, you know what, we want to encourage art within the community. But because they didn't go through the public process, we can let them. So it's really up to SPAC if we want to hear from him. But I just wanted to share with you some other incidents where murals and sign code may have overlapped. Here you can see at Hawaiian Time that this whole section was covered with murals, flowers, but it had to be painted over because it didn't meet the sign code restrictions. See,
Why was that one painted over?
There's larger.
there's like too much
Too
surface,
many flowers?
too many
Too
flowers.
much square feet or something.
Yeah.
And so that SPAC did not consider that, or
No, this went through sign code. This wasn't so I think what they did was they went through the sign code process and they was approved, but they had put too much, or I'm not sure. But this is what Tom referred me to when he said that it's really a sign code issue.
My question would be, that looks like more of a branding to the company itself with their buildings. Is this one purely art, or is it part of the building's brand, the company's branding?
You mean
With
Dave's? There's other ones that look like this.
okay,
But they're not.
Branding
It's
yeah.
it looks geometric, and
There was one in Denver.
there's
that
multiple
I,
in
yeah,
Portland.
that I used to
Let's
go
go.
to, and I'm curious now. Like it was really brightly colored. And
Yeah.
definitely eye-catching.
Portland.
Because I think that's where it gets like, where we kind of have to draw the line, even though I think it's interesting. But how do you draw the line? That's, I don't know.
The McDonald's is gonna
I
come
think
along with
they-
a brand new visual image, and they want to put it everywhere. And then
Yeah.
we'd have fallen in the same issue with that.
Sandy Boulevard.
Oh, it's an old one.
Yeah, it is an old one.
They do work, I know they do have artwork in every location,
So it's all
interior
different.
and exterior. I don't know if they specifically like try to work with local artists, like that I feel like is something that would be
Yeah.
slightly different and
Yeah.
unique, and if that is in fact what they're trying to do, I mean, I think that's a really
Thank
interesting,
you.
wonderful model,
Yeah.
but I think we would just need clarification on.
Well, what they said was
That is
they
something
have
they-
artists that come out in the middle of the night when all the workers are gone, and they just paint it, and it's just prize to them as it is to to us. And so I'm not sure. He said in the email that one of the paintings reflected the fairgrounds.
But that still seems like that's their brand, that they do that.
Mhm.
So even if all the artwork is different, it's still within their branding to say, okay, we're gonna have people come out and do this.
And so
So,
he has two options.
Yeah.
I said he can, three options. One, just put a application in, and as a staff, I would not be able to recommend it because he didn't go through the public process. Two, he could come to the next meeting virtually and present during the public comment period, or he could contact us to be put on the agenda. It'll be Chair Hall's decision whether or not to hear him out.
would it then have to become part of the public art collection?
If we accept it, it'll be
the hard
part of the public
Yeah.
art collection.
Yeah.
It'll be a Dave's Hot Chicken one.
Yeah, the hard part is it's
That
it's
is
well
too
done.
much. That's-
Yeah.
I don't want that in the public.
Exactly.
That's their thing, like,
Yeah.
that's really their thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sort of the hard part is like, even when you look at the other one with the flowers, like,
Mhm.
it feels like the sign code maybe needs to be adjusts, because like that building now has Hawaiian flower down it. It looks fine, and it would look better if they had left the other
Yep.
flowers there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you have these weird mismatched color
Is it
spots.
a work of original art that you try to sell in public art collection? No, but is it better for the city to have colorfully painted things that are cool? Probably. So I don't know that that's necessarily our responsibility to solve that problem.
Can we recommend something?
But maybe,
Yeah.
maybe the sign code should be
The,
liberalized a little bit to allow for more creative expression of paint jobs.
there you go.
Because like making things eye-catching is fun.
Yeah.
And frankly, maybe interesting. It maybe would relieve some of the burden of it. And every paint job you decide on has to be a public artwork. Like, that's hard. But do I think that looks fine to me?
Yeah.
But, you know, as long as it's not obscene or, I mean, I'm not saying the sign code should stop, cease to exist.
Right.
But
What would that process be for them? Would it take too long and they would just have to paint over it anyways because of it's not a part of the code now? And the process to change things for specs.
They would have to, according to code, they would have to reduce the amount of eye-catching code, so they would have to paint over it.
Well, that's a question I have, like, at what point is it okay versus at what point is it too eye-catching and then becomes a problem and then a mural and,
There's dimensions.
Yeah, it's all in, like, in sign code, they have sign contractors that go out and
Yeah.
fill this up, and so,
I guess if they made a checkerboard of little white squares
yeah,
over it,
yeah,
technically they could probably argue that the white was like. And if they measured them out, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. it starts
well,
to
they'd
become-
let you know during the sign code, so if they put the paint job design during the
and then
process,
they would have known ahead of time.
they would know ahead of time, like, hey, no, this is not allowed, but you can put it on this whole face of the wall if you want to.
And
Okay.
I think it's what if people are suggesting that maybe there needs to be a revision of the sign code itself. Maybe the sign code is outdated in today's world where you're actually interested in a world that is more visually complex than the one we've had in the past.
Certainly.
So,
For example, where apparently Portland allowed it.
Mhm.
So do they have a sign code?
Corvallis, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
And all the businesses, and they have no code. They have no.
And Salem is different, we're complaint and through enforcement, so, I mean, someone made a complaint, so in
But
Portland.
somebody
they went-
did complain.
Yeah,
said-
there was a.
Was
there's
it a
a-
business? Was it another? I mean, I
I'm
don't
not
know if you
sure
know who it
who.
is. It might have been another
It
business.
brought
or
the attention to the.
Probably another chicken place.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. And so that's coming down the pipe. You could
Yeah.
make a recommendation, you know, saying that we really think that it's more of a sign code, and I could take that back to sign code saying, hey, you know, SPAC kind of reviewed it. We don't have an application from the gentleman, but this is what our recommendation is, because what they are doing is they're holding off to give that gentleman an opportunity to go to SPAC. But it doesn't sound like it's gonna,
It's not good.
yeah.
So I have just a general question about, because I know even before I applied for this, I was speaking to someone who was kind of telling me the nuances of creating a mural here in Salem. If someone has private property and wants to create a mural or bring an artist in, is that something that has to then go through approval? And if so, that would then also become part of our public art collection?
That's how it's decided.
That's how it is right now.
The only murals allowed in the city
Yeah.
are public murals.
Okay,
Except for the street painting.
okay, right,
Yep.
Which means that the reason there's this balanced application process is
right,
it's a work of public art,
Yeah.
that has certain criteria. that
Yeah.
have to be done. So people are starting to be a trend. or it's not-
yeah,
effectively, if it's
Right.
doing it, and then coming back and retroactive. It's a criteria, it's work of public art, but
Right.
that, of course, so short circuits. It's a little, as we've talked about, it's an awkward mechanism.
yeah,
Because it's like, it's not the private property owner has to the city
right.
7 years. It's a sort of weird,
They have to maintain it.
Mhm.
but it's the city sort of has added it to permanent collection. It's not really a thing, and
Yeah.
it isn't quite the right. Clearly, there's a need to create carve-outs from the sign code.
Yeah,
The current solution for that is to
It's
see, is to
us.
call it art and see how they expect, sort of deal with it. Is that the right solution? I don't know.
yeah,
We ran into it here.
And we're gonna run into it again, once we get the code language passed, that allows, storage facilities, storage buildings like this to be painted. If they produce the same, is this considered a sign? On this building?
Those producers.
Yes, because this is part of the original one that they submitted. Remember, this one is not painted, this one is not painted.
Right.
But with the new, you know, if they submit this, which I'm not sure what they're going to do, will you consider this a mural, a public mural, or is this an advertisement?
That's advertisement.
On
The Pacific Coast Producers thing?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's clear.
yeah,
So,
but on one of the versions that we saw, there was other buildings and things that were back
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So the Capitol building was back there. And
Yeah.
so
No, this
is
is
that,
the-
is that still gonna be back there? Or is that?
There's a
included?
little capital back here in the completed version.
So I think in the original one, there was the design on there, and then our code, like essentially had to be flat surfaces.
Mhm.
And so that's what happened, I think, right there. is
No, that was the original design.
That was original design?
I do remember that, but then I remember we saw,
See, this is-
yeah, with
Yeah.
that, with the Capitol and everything. So
That's
is
what I-
that,
So this is painted, but it's blocked by
oh, so it's behind there.
it's behind, yeah.
I
thought the
see.
idea was that that image was gonna carry over.
Yeah, so did I.
No, I
Onto
think that
that
was one we
building.
overlooked too. And
Oh,
so,
yeah.
We didn't see this image.
Yeah.
I haven't
I
seen
don't-
that
I
image.
don't-
I
think
think,
they-
I
think they
think
pulled
we
that.
saw it initially.
yeah, we saw it because
Might
it's on the
don't know.
website.
I don't
Oh,
know,
shoot. Yeah, it was
I
originally
thought it was just
posted and
kind of
then
a-
was edited
sketch,
at the very last minute. They they pulled it.
yeah.
I see. So
So at this point, where does that leave them?
Well, at this point, we're gonna have to get it passed through council so that the code language changes so they can paint on those silos.
Right,
And then when we let them know that, hey, these are allowed to be painted, they would have to decide what direction they want to go in terms of design. Then it'll go through the public process again, where we get Linda Cott and her neighborhood association to say, hey, we like the design, we don't like the design. Then I recommend to SPAC, did they follow all the rules? And then SPAC will look at the criteria and review them, saying, yes, it matches. It's not an advertisement, it's more a public work of art, accepted and they paint it.
I see,
And then we get the legal easement for 7 years.
okay.
And we wouldn't be able to create like an alternative mural program until we speak to Kate and the stakeholders, correct?
That's what I'm thinking is next steps, correct?
Yeah, maybe once within that new plan.
Yeah, which will require
recommendation would
code
be
changes.
For a more,
I mean,
more sane mural.
yeah, it feels like there needs to be a way for people to paint the ones that complies with the city code, doesn't have to be part of the city's architecture.
Yeah.
Yes.
So right now, those are the two options, and that creates this awkwardness where we're all sort of like, sure, the chicken place, kind of like it,
Yeah.
looks great. Is it a piece of art that the Salem wants to hang as part of its, no. Should they have to paint it? No, probably not. So, but what's the answer? I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's.
We should just put it in the art collection. So we can be like,
Well,
"Oh,
we
there's
could-
not
we could
chicken,
become-
it was- we don't know either.
We could become activists.
To me, it'd be a heck of a social media post right there.
What was it? What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
The code came first.
We can never be seen eating.
I know.
Yeah.
I have to drive to Portland. Yeah.
So this language though, for changing, so they could paint on curved surface, this has been going on for a long time. Is that a usual thing that it takes that long to change
Sometimes-
the code? I mean, they haven't even presented it to council yet. Why?
Yeah. Well, I learned talking to Tom that I'm supposed to have put in the staff report. I was under the impression that legal department was putting in a staff report to city council. And so I just learned this week that,
Oh, so the procedure.
yeah, so
This is your fault.
it's my fault.
Okay.
You had to ask.
You had to.
Sorry.
I cannot tell a lie.
Sorry.
No, I'm putting
They
in
should
this.
have let you know.
Yeah,
though.
I know, I should have done my homework too, but, so I have the template, I just received it before this meeting, so I'll be putting that in.
Okay.
Thanks for asking the
Thanks for
question.
your honesty.
No. Yeah. Any other questions?
I mean, don't feel bad.
How,
How
how,
are you
in
supposed to know
general,
the
how,
name of
how
this, right?
often do we get those applications for? these
For
types of
murals?
projects?
We've only received 3 in the past 2 years. One was for, or well, 4. 2 were for existing murals. One was, so we had to go through that process. And those had a lot of community support letters because it was more save this mural or we're gonna have to paint over it. And the last 2 was the maraschino cherries, so it was a big industrial one. It was in North Salem, which is, has kind of like an art desert. And then the last one was for this downtown one on Front Street. However, that was pulled in January. I'm going to be receiving one for a new dental office built down south by the Costco area. And so I'm looking forward to that one. Not the Costco, I'm sorry, the Beehive
Yeah.
food
I know where
trucks.
that dental office is.
Yes. So they contacted me. They're like,
How are they gonna see it though? Because the dental office is really pulled back from a commercial.
Yeah.
So you,
That's the point.
no, but I mean, to see the mural.
Yeah.
Because at the front of that dental office, I don't know where they put a mural.
yeah, it would have to be behind the parking lot. And so one of the
Yeah.
questions is it, accessible to the public?
Mhm.
And so they're gonna have to show that, public can drive in there and,
Mhm.
see it.
Hmm.
So,
Which really does feel like there needs to be a third path. Like,
Yeah, because there's also, I mean, like, we don't provide funding for anything like this, but then we're responsible for, or are we not responsible for any sort of upkeep or maintaining, even though it's part of
They
the
have to make
collection?
that as part of their
Okay.
contract.
Okay, that,
but the city would include them on our GIS, art collection.
Yeah.
So that'll be their advertisement.
And it is important to have that agreement. They maintain it. 'Cause
well,
otherwise-
absolutely, yeah.
And that's to ensure vandalism is taken care of right
Yeah.
away.
So,
One more question about the Public Works building and the art
Yeah.
there. How's that coming along?
The Public Works building is going really well. What is it called, dry rough, or they roughed it? Yeah, I don't know the construction process.
Yeah.
But
But then,
yeah, they don't have any of the artists in there yet. I can give you an update at the next meeting from now on down. And yeah, I saw the last pictures. They were running all the network cables, all the blue internet,
oh, wow.
and they're like just
in there.
huge.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Mhm.
So, but I'm excited for you guys to come and do the opening. I know we wanted to do something separate from the actual ribbon cutting of the building.
For the
So,
art-
yep, for the artwork.
There's gonna be someone
Um,
shows.
They're gonna
the
do new artwork for the airport if it actually has a new,
Shed.
they actually have what is the anonymous carrier?
They haven't
Who wants-
announced it yet. yeah.
I know, whoever that's going to be.
I guess if there's gonna be construction, right?
If there's construction
Yeah.
on it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there should be some percent going to.
because they think it's going to happen as of July. That's what I read.
Yes, it's like they put
to
you-
the TSA screens there or something.
Yeah. I'm actually helping with the recruitment of the airport credentialing officers. Yeah, they're under Public Works now, airport.
We're doing that, so I can ask.
Oh, you guys are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the terminal's changing.
It's gonna be a rough, it's just to get it operational, so it's not gonna,
You mean it's not going to be like going to someplace really plush? It's not going to be in Singapore airport.
no, but it is important to use it, because if it gets utilized, then that's when the real remodel will eventually get done. So I think, tell everyone.
Well,
you
if
know,
it's affordable to, go down to San
Yeah.
Francisco and LA, I mean,
Yeah.
probably would be great.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I think this first, I don't know if you know more than I do, but I think the first year is really important to get federal funding after it, so,
What's the flight deck?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, yeah, and it's not connected to it. it's off a little bit.
Yeah, it's
I
like
didn't
a
realize
little bit
that.
patty melts.
Maybe-
Yeah.
maybe-
Is that a
maybe-
restaurant?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
restaurant.
Is
Do you
it?
ever been
Yeah.
out?
Oh, no.
Shape
Oh,
like
that's
a
good.
wing,
Yeah.
like a cutaway of a wing.
And I think it's
Yeah.
a pretty decent restaurant.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it? I
sort of-
mean,
yeah, but you can have it,
for
you can sit and have a drink and look at the.
What's the planes take off?
stick on the-
Yeah.
It's actually pretty cool. If you haven't been out there, you should check it out. Yeah, it's weird. It's a little bit of Salem-iana. Maybe they have a side that should be painted with.
There we go. That's right.
But maybe that's part of our outreach. Is to like private businesses and
Right.
suggest that they consider the mural program.
Yeah. Business for
I see a blank wall.
I see it like, well,
Spend money.
It's cool. It's airplanes.
Yeah.
So I guess next meeting, we're back to Zoom unless Kate can't make it, and then,
Well, we can also adjust the Zoom meeting, I heard, if Kate suggested another time.
Yes. So
Okay.
we could- we could look for another.
Yeah, I just need 7 days ahead to post the agenda and let the public know. But I thought this was a great meeting
yeah. it
for the
was
first
really
one. You
nice.
guys did a lot. Got 3 subcommittees done,
Great.
proving some repairs. So very nice.
We're done.
We're done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Under time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dog will be happy. She's sitting in the car.
Oh, no. Thanks.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. So Susan, you're gonna try to make it tomorrow to the,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Lovely to finally
Oh, it's at
meet
the
you in
library.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it's, it's a good, it's about outreach, right?
Mhm.
Which is kind of sort of
we
my,
wanna do.
my
Yeah,
thing
so
anyway,
I
even with
went
the
to
neighborhood
Salem right
association.
after that.
Perfect.
Oh, okay.
When I do, so
So I got
it's a little early for me, but
Yeah.
she said there'd be coffee.
And donuts.
Yeah. And then I have a thing at 12 and then I have a thing at 2, so
So
it'll
busy.
be a busy day.
Okay.
It'll be good. And in, just to let you know,
Yeah.
I'm scheduled to have some back surgery, June 12th.
12.
So far,
Okay.
if our meeting is the 14th,
No,
the
yeah.
only, I probably won't be in any shape
Okay.
to do it. I don't know. I have no idea. I might, but I probably wouldn't be able to come.
All right.
So either I'll just miss the meeting.
Sounds good. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
I'm having some back issues with my sciatica tonight.
That's exactly what I'm
Oh.
having the surgery for. I've had it for 8 months, the sciatica.
Oh. It
I've
sounded like,
tried everything. You gotta try things.
oh,
See,
yes. Yeah.
chiropractor and, whatever. I
Oh, I've
had
been
a
doing
shot. it
really
didn't-
good yoga.
Yoga.
But sitting in a car this weekend was too
Yeah.
much for me.
Yeah.
And then sitting on a puzzle.
Oh, yeah. My problem is that it's not muscular, it's skeletal. So they have to go in and move things around and read things out, shore things up.
Do you have a Salem, what's it, Hope Orthopedics?
Actually, I'm going to a spine surgery center in Tualatin.
Okay,
It was recommended.
very nice.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with everything.
Thank you. And also, I forgot to say, I have a show. I meant to say this. Yeah, video card.
Yeah,
I have a show coming up today. You can go to the Art Association. It's
thank you.
with all of I've taken some of my personal letters and notebooks and all sorts of stuff that I've shredded and made into other sculptures, and sort of doing an environment, kind of in an effort to
Cool.
kind of let go of some of this stuff,
Wow,
because I keep a lot of things. And it's, yeah.
this is big. This is great.
Yeah.
Thank
yeah,
you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it.
I've meant to say something. Oh, well, maybe I'll send something around.
All right.
about it. Oh, and the brochures.
Yes, I gonna contact someone from facilities to open it for me.
Do you wanna, should we do that another time?
Yeah, I'll set up a
or-
time for me to either send it to your house
Oh, okay.
Or do you mind if
Or
I just
leave
drop it off?
somewhere? Oh, no, I don't mind.
I can
at
leave it
all.
over here if you
I'm
can pick
trying
it
to
up.
think when the next time I am kind of busy. If you do get it before tomorrow morning, I'll be over at the library for that meeting, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, let me check with the facilities person.
I probably, our next.
I'll keep in touch with you.
Yeah, the open studios is May 6th, so that, it's a ways
We have time.
away.
Okay.
but
Yeah,
Just like keep me posted, whatever.
will do. Thank
You had
you.
mentioned something about putting a barcode on it.
The sticker,
Yeah.
I probably won't have that printed by the time I get it to you tomorrow, because I think I can get it
Well,
to you
then,
tomorrow.
whenever, if it's before May 6th, and I wouldn't worry about the neighborhood association, but the open studios at the mill
Okay,
will be May 6th. So
Sounds
it'll
good.
be Before then.
okay.
All right.
Thank
thanks a
you.
lot.
Take care. It's nice seeing you.